The detention cell hummed with the soft blue glow of containment fields as Commander Zaxthor circled the old human specimen with predatory grace. His crimson scales rippled with anticipation, razor-sharp claws clicking against the metallic floor. Behind him, 3 other Vrak warriors watched with hungry eyes, their forked tongues tasting the air for fear. Pathetic, Zaxthor hissed, his voice a symphony of clicks and growls. This is what conquered the outer systems? This fragile, aging creature? The human sat calmly on the bench, his weathered face betraying no emotion. Gray hair, deep wrinkles, and liver-spotted hands suggested a being well past its prime. His pale blue eyes, however, tracked every movement in the room with unsettling precision. Lieutenant Kresh moved closer, towering over the prisoner. The Vrak stood nearly 8 feet tall, their muscular frames designed by evolution for the hunt. They had dominated their homeworld's apex predator hierarchy for millennia before reaching the stars. The United Earth Fleet sent only one ship to answer our challenge. One old male. We expected warriors, not retirement home refuse. The other Vrak chittered with laughter, their sharp teeth glinting in the artificial light. The human finally spoke, his voice rough but steady. Name's Marcus Webb, Captain retired. And before you get too comfortable, you should know something about my species. Zaxthor leaned in, his hot breath washing over the old man's face. Enlighten us, prey creature. Tell us why we shouldn't simply devour you now and move on to conquering your pathetic Earth. Marcus smiled, a cold expression that didn't reach his eyes. You Vrak are proud of being predators. I've read your broadcasts, your cultural databases. You believe yourselves the ultimate hunters because you evolved at the top of your food chain. We are the ultimate predators, Kresh snarled. We have hunted across 1,000 worlds. Our claws have torn through every species foolish enough to challenge us. Your soft bodies, your weak jaws, your blunt teeth, you are barely evolved past herbivores. That's where you're wrong, Marcus said quietly. You see, you are predators. Impressive ones. But we humans, we are the ultimate predators, and the difference matters. The Vrak exchanged glances, amusement dancing in their reptilian eyes. Marcus continued, his voice taking on a professorial tone. You evolved as ambush hunters on a world with clear prey and predator divisions. Fast twitch muscles, sharp claws, powerful jaws. You're built for the sprint, the pounce, the kill. Magnificent, really. But here's what you don't understand. Humans are persistence hunters. Zaxthor's tail lashed impatiently. Persistence? What good is persistence when you have no natural weapons? Everything, Marcus replied. My ancestors didn't have claws, venom, or armored scales. They had something more terrifying, endurance. We would pick a prey animal, something faster and stronger than us, and we would just follow it. Hour after hour, day after day if necessary. Never stopping.
Never resting.
We would track wounded prey for weeks across African plains. The animal would run, rest, run again, but we just kept coming. Walking, always walking, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion, and our ancestors would walk up and finish it with rocks. Primitive savagery, Kresh scoffed. No, Marcus said, his voice hardening. Evolutionary perfection for one purpose, outlasting everything else. You want to know why humans dominated Earth? Because we outcompeted every other apex predator through sheer stubborn persistence. Saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, cave bears, all gone. We didn't outfight them. We outlasted them. He stood slowly, and despite his age, there was something in his movements that made the Vrak step back instinctively. We are the species that looked at horses, animals that could outrun us, and said, I'll just follow you until you love me. We turned wolves into dogs by our campfires. We domesticated everything we couldn't immediately conquer because we had time. Always time. You Vrak think in terms of battles. We think in terms of campaigns. Wars. Centuries. Marcus walked to the containment field, his reflection ghostly in its shimmer. You know what else makes us ultimate predators? We're persistently creative. We can't breathe underwater? We invented submarines. Can't fly? We built aircraft. Can't survive in space? We engineered vessels and suits. Every limitation is just a puzzle we persistently solve. Enough philosophy, Zaxthor growled. You're still our prisoner, old man. Your ship was disabled, your weapons offline. You are alone and helpless. Marcus's smile widened. See, that's your mistake. You're still thinking like a predator who hunts alone or in small packs. Humans, we're social persistence hunters. I'm not alone. I was never alone, he tapped his temple. Neural implant transmitted everything since your tractor beam grabbed my ship. Earth Command has your location, your fleet composition, your defensive capabilities, but more importantly, they have time. They know exactly where you are and they know you can't run forever. Zaxthor's scales paled. We can jump to hyperspace and we'll follow, Marcus interrupted. That's what we do. That's what we've always done. You might be faster, stronger, more naturally armed, but we're patient, persistent. We'll track you across the galaxy if necessary. We'll study your tactics, adapt our strategies, and improve our weapons. Maybe it takes months, maybe years, maybe decades. Doesn't matter. We'll keep coming. The old captain's eyes grew cold. You wanted to know why Earth sent one old man? Because I volunteered. Because I knew you'd underestimate me. Because 72 years of military service taught me that sometimes the best weapon isn't the sharpest claw. It's the mind behind it and the will to never, ever stop. Alarms suddenly shrieked through the ship. The Vrak's communication systems exploded with panicked reports. 30 human vessels had emerged from hyperspace, weapons hot surrounding the Vrak fleet. Marcus checked his chronometer. 47 hours. That's how long I kept you talking, studying you, sending data. That's how long it took our fleet to position. Not bad for an old man from a retirement home. Zaxthor stared at the human, finally understanding the horror his species had provoked. They had awakened something ancient and implacable. A species that had climbed from prey to apex predator not through strength, but through the terrifying refusal to ever give up. You are predators, Marcus said softly, echoing his earlier words. But we are the ultimate predators. We don't hunt you because we're stronger. We hunt you because we will outlast you. Every single time. The containment field flickered and died as human marines breached the Vrak vessel. As Marcus walked free, he looked back at the trembling aliens. Welcome to the human era, gentlemen. Try to keep up.